Good morning. I'm Jackie. I'm here to interview you for the Carroll County Living History Project, and I'm interviewing Mr. Murdock in his home in Westminster. And I guess we'll start off easy. Can you tell me when and where you were born?
I was born in Ticonderoga, New York, August 30th, 1936.
Which would make you how old?
74.
Okay. That's all we're supposed to ask to begin with, so I don't need that anymore. Did you grow up there, or were you just born there and then moved?
No, I grew up in Screw Lake, which is 25 miles over the road from Ticonderoga. I was born in Ticonderoga.
Okay. When did you move? How long have you been in Carroll County?
28 years. Came here in 83. 20.
Okay. Can you tell me any stories about your childhood, about when you grew up, what it was like over there as opposed to here?
I don't know if it'd be any different than here. We were lucky enough in that time and age to have a good school. Screw Lake Central School is probably one of the better schools in the nation. They've been approved. They've been getting awards for the last several years for being one of the #1 high schools, and that's where I went to school. It was 12 grades. I graduated in 1954. We had all normal activities, basketball, baseball, soccer, and
Tell me about your dad. Tell me about your dad.
Huh?
Tell me about your dad.
Well, my own father was killed in World War II in 1944, which brought a kind of a hardship on the family, but I was lucky enough to live right next door to my grandfather, and so he was one of my best friends. And then my mother remarried in 1947, 3 years later, to a fellow who was a entrepreneur, is that what you call it? Entrepreneur. And did very well for himself, and raised my two sisters and me. And it was a hardship, because we, in that day and age, there wasn't a whole lot going on as far as, a lot of depression had just come by, and most all the people, a lot of people still recovering from the depression. And we were lucky enough to, my father, before he died, had gotten a $10,000 life insurance policy.
Oh, wow.
And when he died, that paid the house off, which wasn't a lot. A house back then was probably $6,000 or so, something like that. But it paid it off, so that helped us a lot as far as getting the situation, as far as money goes, taken care of.
Right.
And I don't know. Life was better. After a few years, life got better, and I personally think I lived in the best era there ever was. Back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, everybody was trying to make it, and they did, because American people were, I think, very strong as far as making things happen and working things out and making progress. because we've built a nation built on, people come here from all over,
Yeah.
and they make it. Some of them, it takes a little longer, but most of them may have a drive to survive and a drive to get a good life for themselves and for their children.
For the American dream.
That's what I say, American dream.
Tell them about how you used to cut ice on the lake.
No, well,
She should be doing the interview.
No, we used to. Well, my father sold ice in the summer, and that up in that area, there's a lot of transit in the summer. People coming from New Jersey, New York City, and Long Island to come up there. And of course, back then, on the back side of the lake, which was the side of Schroon Lake, there was no electricity. The only thing electric was if somebody had generators and stuff. So we used to. In the winter, my father and some of the people around there, the farmers and stuff, would cut ice, big blocks of ice, and bring them up, and we put them in the ice house. And of course, that was a lot of work putting ice away. But you slid the ice, and then you covered it with sawdust, and then you put more ice in, and you cover it with sawdust, and it would sit there from probably January or February until June, and then we would take it out and sell it
Wow.
by the cake. You wouldn't believe it'd still be good, but it didn't melt. Sawdust insulated it and kept it from melting.
Wow.
So we used to sell ice, and people would come and buy a cake of ice for about $1 or $1.25 a piece, and they put them in their ice boxes in their houses and keep their food.
Right. Well, they didn't have electricity. They
No, they
needed
didn't have
something.
electricity at that time, but then later on they had it. But it was a different lifestyle. Just getting them big blocks of ice, they probably weighed about 100 pounds.
Wow.
But you took a pair of tongs, ice tongs, and you'd drag them on top of the big. We'd have ice packed up in a place big as this room with ice, and then we'd cover it with sawdust.
Bless you.
So, anyhow, but we had lots of snow, lots of ice, lots of winter skiing, and all that. Nowadays they got snowmobiles and all the other stuff that goes along, but back then we just all get together on a Saturday night and build a big bonfire and slide down the hill all night till we got tired, and then we'd go home. But we used to, it was a different lifestyle, but
Yeah.
I survived.
Well, thankfully.
Yep.
Tell them about Scarron Manor.
Oh well, that's older. That's when I was after I graduated from high school. I went to college at Morrisville Agricultural and Technical Institute in Morrisville, New York. Graduating in '56, and while I was doing that in the summers, I worked for a friend of mine called Stanley Cole, who had a boat livery at the big Jewish resort of Scarron Manor, and we'd rent boats, teach water skiing, take cruises on the lake in a big Chris Craft or a Century boat. Take probably like 10 people or so on a boat and go around the lake and show them all, because there's a lot of girls and boys camps there all around the whole lake, and so we'd go around and point out all the points of interest to the people, all the camps and stuff, and teach water skiing. I taught water skiing for about 3 years.
Wow.
So,
Do you
make a living?
Do you still water ski? Do
I
you
used to. I did water ski up until about 15, 20 years ago. But now I'm getting old and my knees are falling apart. So, but anyhow, life was good. I can't complain.
Well, that's good.
And then and then after I got out of college, I went to service. Was in the service for 2 years. Got out of the service, and first Christmas after I got out, I came down to Maryland. And there was no jobs in New York, and there's still no jobs in New York, northern New York, about anything. So anyhow, I came down here and, at Christmas time, and I looked in the paper, and there was hundreds of jobs in the paper. I said, well, the best thing I can do is go home, pack my bags, and come back.
Did you come here as a fluke, or did you come here to Maryland specifically?
Came specifically to Maryland, yeah. And then I came here on a Monday and went out for a couple of interviews on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday I went to work.
Wow.
Been here ever since.
All right.
That was 1959. Came here in 1959, January 1959.
What kind of job did you get?
I started at Wissinger Chevrolet on Four Corners, Virginia, in the body shop.
Nice. Now, that's not what you went to college for?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Automotive, yeah.
Oh, okay, well then, that's perfect.
I got in and got a job, worked. So anyhow, I've been around here a long time. I've been here 26 years.
In this house?
Yeah. You know, we bought this business, the business here. I didn't buy the business. I bought the business was here. A guy had a business here, but I just bought his property and had my own shop. And I've worked here. It's a little easy going to work. All you do is walk across the driveway.
So how long did you stay with the first job?
Probably about 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, and then I went next door and went to work at Seven Corners Auto Body. Worked there for several years. Then I went to work for Carroll in Falls Church. Then I went to work for Earl Scheib Auto Paint out of Philadelphia. And I worked for them for probably 4 or 5 years. And then
You had your own place.
I had my own shop in Highland, Maryland. I had a shop in Highland, Maryland. I had a shop in Dayton, Maryland. I had a shop in West Friendship, Maryland. I had 3 shops at one time going. And I worked them until 1977 or 6. And then I went and I sold that business, and I went to work with a friend of mine in a shop in Mount Airy. So I worked in Mount Airy for a while, and then I moved up here in '83. And we've been here ever since.
Now you jumped around a lot.
Huh?
You jumped around a lot with jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Is that just boredom, or
no? I just
better opportunities?
No, I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm 74 years old. I've never drawn unemployment. I've never been unemployed in my life. So I can.
That's
I don't
something
have to
worth
worry.
saying.
I always could get a job. Never had any problem getting a job. You can always, if a man wants to work, and I think he can get a job. Might not be the best job that you want or the right pay or whatever, but it works out. So, but anyhow, I spent all my life just about since '67. I've been in business for myself since '67. 44 years. So. I don't know anything else.
Well, if you're good at it, that's something to be proud of.
I love what I do. I mean, you can tell you that.
He loves it.
That's a rarity. Most people don't get to do what they love doing for a living, let
That's
alone
right.
do it for so long.
Plus, I don't have to drive anywhere. I'm here at the house. Life's been good. I can't complain.
Good. Tell me a story.
Huh?
Tell me a story. Tell me a story about, I guess when you moved here, was it a change?
Well, we were looking for I was looking for a place to live. We lived on a farm over in the other side of Westminster, and we were kind of looking for a place, a business to buy. And I don't know, just by fluke, we picked the newspaper up, and then the newspaper said they've got a place out here and shop. And problem with businesses is you have to have a zoning in order to get, they harass you to death if you don't have real zoning. So we were looking for a place that had real zoning. And this guy said, well, I got this place for sale, and it's got a big garage, and he said, I've been working here for 2 or 3 years, and he said, he didn't want to work anymore. He just said he wasn't going to work anymore, and he wanted to sell this, and he said, put it in the paper. And so we said, we came out and looked at it. I said, boy, this is ideal. Perfect.
Split zoning.
Split zoning, so you can't find that.
That's why.
See, that side's commercial on the other side of the driveway, and this here's residential.
Oh.
So this is very, very strange type, because most everything when you get commercial, it's all commercial.
Right.
But this is half and half. So
So
anyhow, so I don't have to worry. I mean, the zoning can come out. I mean, the county can harass me forever, but I got zoning. I got a zoning certificate. That's what I wanted.
Right.
So I bought this place, and we've been here ever since.
So there's different rules. I'm trying to understand the
I don't
zoning.
know. I don't know
You don't
how it
understand
ever
it
got
either?
done. This guy's father and him got it done. I don't know how they got it done, but
They must have known somebody who
that's
knew
what I
somebody
figured.
or something.
That's what I figure.
That's luck. That's nice.
But anyhow, I mean, I've had problems with the neighbors and stuff at times because they can't figure out why I got zoning, And I said I didn't have nothing to do with it. I bought the place with the zoning, so. But I was back here. I've been back here. 26 years, and the people over across the road there living in that house there. The muffler fell off their car one day, and they asked somebody where they could get it fixed, and he said, "We'll take it across the road, man. It's got a garage right there." They've been here 6 or 7 years, and they didn't even know I was even here.
Wow.
So but I don't know what else you need to know.
I don't know. Tell me how you met your wife. I mean, that's a.
Well, we went to the same church, and somebody said
No cheating.
So anyhow, so she and we met, and we knew each other for maybe a year or so, and then finally we decided maybe we was interested in each other, and then we went together about 3 years, and we've been married 31.
Oh.
Of course, this is a second marriage for me. My wife, I had 3 children, and my wife left me, and I had 3 kids to raise.
Wow.
So then I met her, we married, and my kids get along good with her.
Good. So you got lucky twice.
Huh?
You got lucky twice.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So I don't know what else I can tell you.
So your children, they grew up here in Carroll County, or?
No, one of them graduated from Westminster High in
I don't remember dates.
85. Graduated in 85. Went in the service, been in the service. He's retired now from the Navy after 20 years. And he works for the Andrews Air Force Base. He's in charge of security at Andrews Air Force Base.
Oh.
My other daughter is a, and her husband are, well, they're DJs. They got DJ business. Been DJs for, I guess, probably 20-some years.
Wow.
And she's an insurance agent. Plus, she's a travel agent. And she's an accountant. She does a little bit of everything.
Well, that's useful, especially with the economy the way it is.
Yeah, she's sharp on income tax and all that kind of stuff. So that's what she does. And then my other daughter's married, and she lives in Dover, Pennsylvania. And she's got 2 boys, and they've been married 33 years. I just like to see what's going on. I like to keep up with it.
Well, it's good to be aware, you know?
So, not that I was a politician, but anyhow. They say don't talk politics, right? That's what they always say. I always tell you, don't talk politics, but anyhow.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I think in Carroll County, it's a nice place to live. It's got beautiful countryside. I think Maryland's a wonderful state to live in. You can go to the ocean, you can go here, there, and all over.
Yeah.
And you can go to the mountains, or you can go to the ocean, or you can go out and ride around out in western Maryland. It's beautiful out there. So I think Maryland has everything that a man would want as far as climate. You can, you know. So anyhow, I've always liked Carroll County. I've been here long enough to be around it. So.
Yeah.
And the people, you know, most of the people, once you've been here a while, but if you come in here as a newcomer into Carroll County, they're hard to get along with, hard to get to know people.
Do you think that's changed? Do you think people's attitudes? I mean, I've heard.
I think it's better. It may be better right now, but when I first came here 30 years, 25 years, 28 years ago, I think they were. I always felt like they were a little bit snooty or something. If you weren't born in Carroll County, you know, they don't, you know, they think about you as something else. So.
Yeah.
But now it seems like there's more people moving in, and it's a different climate, and I think that, you know, I think it's better. It seems like it's better. People are more friendly now than they used to be.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Other than that, what else to tell you? What else you got on your mind?
Can you give me some advice on how to age healthy? I mean, that's.
I don't know.
I mean, what do you think you've done that has helped you stay as healthy as you are?
Well, I never drank and I never smoked, so that helped, I think.
That's definitely a good start.
And I feel good. I mean, not that I don't have. I got my knees are falling apart and stuff, but I don't know. I eat good and probably should exercise a little more than I do, but
I think we can all say that.
I walk some, but I'm out there working every day, so it's like I still work. I mean, I work every day, so I think that probably helps too. Being active. I don't think you can. Person comes down and sits down and forgets about everything, and they don't live too long.
Yeah, that's something I've heard a lot in the past couple days.
I've had some friends of mine that once they retired, they didn't do nothing, and you know, and it wasn't long before they're gone. But you gotta have some kind of something to do. Keep busy. It seems like when you retire, that most people think they're busier than they were when they were working.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Do you have any hobbies that you've always had, or other than what you do for a living? But
no, I've been involved with my church for years, and I've been involved with Lions Club for over 40 years.
Okay.
So I've been in the Lions Club, and that keeps me pretty busy, just to being a member of the Lions Club, because they always give me 2 jobs to do. But anyhow, I think that helps. You got to have something to do, you know, just keep from being bored, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you.
Do you have any financial advice? Because finances are a pretty big part of being successful.
I've always been able to provide and I've been here 28 years. I've never advertised one day for anything to do, and I have people coming from, years ago, I used to have people coming from down in Howard County. I lived in Howard County for 25 years. So, it just seems like if you do a good job, try to be honest with the people, they'll come to your door and you can do work and make a living. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Secret's doing good work and don't rip the people off. Don't charge them too much.
And that's hard to find.
Yeah.
Really,
I know.
really
I tell you
hard
what's
to find.
terrible. My grandson was just telling me the other day he bought a new Honda. He took it back. It's got 15,000 miles on it. He took it back and they changed oil. They changed oil for free, so he took it back. And they told him some gasket was loose and it's going to cost $100. And they told him something else was loose and it was going to cost $200. I felt like telling him. I told him, I said, you should have just told him if the car's that bad after 15,000 miles, you better give me another car.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. They get you in there.
They're trained to lie.
My
dad was an auto
she took
mechanic.
her car. She had a new Lexus. She took it in and get a 36,000 mile warranty check, and they told her it'd be $600. And they didn't do nothing. Change oil and maybe look at it a little bit. It's a ripoff.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can sleep at night, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. My dad used to work for Firestone, and they would yell at him. He would be honest with people. To be honest with you, your brakes are fine. There's nothing wrong with the car. And they would yell at him. Why didn't you, change this? Why didn't you tell them this was bad? And he hated it. But that's what you had to do, unless you have your own business,
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I'll tell you today, it's hard to find any guy out there that's pretty honest about what he. Of course, I've been used to looking around, and over the years, I've been able to steer some people to some people that are, I feel, fairly straight up. So.
Well, that's good.
We have some friends in business, and I have friends in business, and that I would say are pretty straight shooters. Don't take and rip the people off.
Yeah.
So anyhow, it's hard to say. But anyhow, Carroll County's been good to me. I can't complain. And, the county hasn't changed that much. I don't think it's, I think if you've been here a while, it's a little easier on you. I really believe that. Because I know when I first came here, they want to know where I came from and how. So anyhow, but once you've been here a while, they accept you, I think.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I don't know whether you learned anything or not.
I definitely learned stuff.
Okay. Is
Do you have
that good?
anything else to add? Anything you think I missed?
No, you girls been good.
Nothing that you're just dying to say?
No, not really.
All right.
But you girls,
Thank you for your time. And
Okay,
thank you
no
for letting me
problem.
videotape you. And
Yeah, okay, no problem. I don't care.